You know what? Children, their brains are like sponges. Until the age of 8, they absorb everything.
Right.
So it's very important what you feed that sponge,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's like garbage in, garbage out.
Welcome to the Sum of Everything podcast, where we discuss a little bit of a lot of topics, ranging from spirituality to finance and everything in between. I'm your host, Aishwarya, a serial hobbyist with an unquenchable thirst for learning, especially through new experiences. In this podcast, we will scratch every itch of curiosity, explore various perspectives, step out of our comfort zone, and experience some of everything. Because after all, we are just that, a sum of all our experiences. So, let's dive right in. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sum of Everything podcast. After last week's random and unplanned episode, I'm finally back on track with all the episodes that I actually have planned for the month of May. And with May being a rather important month, not just because it is my birthday month, but also because May happens to be the month which hosts Mother's Day. Mother's Day falls on 11th of May. And as a result, the month of May on Some of Everything is going to be a celebration of mothers, stay at home moms, working moms, new moms, moms who think that being a mom is not their be all and end all of their personality. And there is more to them as a woman, as an individual, than just being a mom, which is a thought process that I highly encourage. So, in light of that, I have prepared a bunch of really amazing guests, and the first of which obviously had to be my mom. My mom has a bunch of many different qualifications, including the fact that she has a BSc, an MA in history of all things, a subject that she absolutely hates. Don't know how that worked out. And she has also been a medical transcriptionist, does tutoring for kids in English grammar, and currently runs two businesses, not one, one of crocheting. The page is called Yarned It on Instagram, and another of making herbal hair oil. I know that this intro for my mother is going on forever and ever, but after all, she is my mother, and I am going to speak a lot about her. But I am now going to shut up and going to let her take the stage. So, Mama, welcome.
Hi, Aishwarya. Thank you for having me on your podcast. And that was a wonderful introduction.
Not a word of it was untrue, though.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you were spot on with everything.
Just so you know, my mom's name is Anuradha. I forgot to mention that.
Sorry, I think I didn't introduce myself either. So, hi, everybody. I'm Anuradha, Aishwarya, and Ananya's mother.
So finally, welcome. After so much cribbing and crying, you finally decided to make it in front of the mic, and we sat down to record. It's very similar to what happened with Dad. Postponement after postponement of this recording session, but finally we're here.
Yeah. Can I interject,
Yes, of
Aishwarya?
course.
Did I even have a choice?
It's good that you bring up the choice because that actually is going to be my first question.
Okay.
Did you ever have a choice in being a mother? As in, was becoming a mom ever a choice for you?
Not that I can think of. I mean, it's a natural progression. Once you're married, the next milestone in life is being a mother. And no, it was never a choice. I just welcomed it. I wanted it and I love it.
I'm glad you like it. But I think the way today's people see it or today's generation sees it is that everything is a choice, right? I understand because you're not the first person to tell me that becoming a mother was not even a question for
Yeah.
you. But today people see it differently. Getting married is a choice, becoming a mother is a choice. And I know you also are aware about the fact that there are a lot of women my age who are choosing not to be moms.
Okay.
What do you have to say about that?
Uh,
What
about the choice aspect,
Yes, about the choice aspect or the choice to not be a mom.
I think that it's an individual's choice entirely. But uh, I know when you become a mom, there are so many things you learn and you grow with your child. I think that is an important aspect that every girl should understand first. So there's so much that you grow with your own child. You learn, you make mistakes, and then at the end of the day, you're a much better person. That's what I like to believe. But yeah, it's important to be a mom because at least then you will realize what your mom went through.
So then, what would you say changed in you when you became a mom?
Oh, plenty, plenty. I'm not even the same person that I was when I got married. And that's what my husband keeps telling me. You're not the same girl that I married. So, what he got was a naive introvert, a person who never knew what the world was and all that. But today, thanks to him and thanks to you, Aishwarya, largely, I'm completely different person, a largely more confident, ready to, yes, still much of an introvert, but not hesitant in many aspects. Yes. And I think I have largely you to thank you for that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have grown entirely with my two girls at every stage.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, acha, okay, now I know that you chose to give up your career and be a stay at home mom for your
Okay.
children.
Yeah.
Have you ever regretted that choice?
Still, my career, yeah, I was working with the government, the railways. But see, when I got married, I had already decided on giving up the job much before marriage itself. I gave it up because one, it was boring and mundane. Secondly, maybe I wanted to do something else. That's when I joined a computer course back in those days when that was the big thing. I
Mhm.
did that, and then finally marriage happened. And then after marriage, I realized that my husband had a transferable job. So moving cities was like, every 6 months we moved to a different city.
Mm.
So what was the question of having a job? And so then in about a year and a half time, it was time to become a mommy. And then career never was at the full top of my thoughts.
Mhm.
So it was taking care of home and babies. And yes, I loved enjoying. I just wanted to be a different kind of a mom, completely different from what I have seen around me. I wanted to bring up my children very differently. And that started right from the fact that when I carried them, I spoke to my babies.
Mm.
I spoke to them. I told them how I wanted to shape them. What are the good things in life that they should follow? Oh, these are the things that I read. The best example being Lord Krishna,
Mhm.
you know, talking about how to enter the Chakravyuh to his sister Subhadra, who was carrying Abhimanyu,
Abhimanyu.
right? The child had absorbed all that information about how to enter the Chakravyuha. But by the time Krishna realized that Subhadra had gone to sleep, he did not continue that and to teach the child how to come out
Come
of it,
out of it.
right?
Right.
So during the Mahabharata, he was the only person who said that, yes, I know how to enter this. I will go ahead and do it. So that somehow stuck in my mind. And also the fact that my mother kept telling me that, yes, you should talk to your babies inside the womb. They will absorb as much as possible.
Mm.
So all of these things played in my mind and I just followed them all.
Okay.
So career never played an important role. No.
Okay. So then your life sort of became about instilling the right values into your children, bringing them up the right way. And I know that you have been told by a lot of people that you've brought up your children very well and
Oh,
very differently.
yes, and I'm quite surprised at that. But also, somewhere deep down, I've been happy that whatever I wanted to do
Uh,
or whatever I have done with my children from day one has brought about this comment from not just one or two, quite a few people
Mm.
and across generations. And not
Right.
just elderly people, even youngsters your own age, Aishwarya,
Yeah.
have told me that. And I think that somewhere is a compliment. I like to accept it gracefully.
No, of course. I do. I think parenting is the hardest job there is.
Yeah, no
So
doubt
to
about
be
that because there is no rule book.
right,
And no two kids are the same, no two moms are the same.
correct. So what do you see different happening in today's times with young parents now, as opposed to when you had me and Ananya and when you were bringing us up? So,
Um,
what are the major differences you see today?
okay, tough one this is. I really don't know what to say here, but probably the fact that in today's generation, girls largely are very focused on their career
Mhm.
and earning money, becoming independent, and basically enjoying their life. Probably they must have seen their while growing up, they must have seen what difficulties their moms faced.
Right.
Right. So I think that largely dictates how the current generation is wanting to view marriage and motherhood and all that. So I don't know. I can't really put a finger to it. So probably, I think wanting to be independent, career oriented, financial independence, and the fact that they maybe even not wanting to adjust to certain lifestyles
Mhm.
could be the reason. I'm not sure about it.
But could be reasons for what?
Not wanting to get married in the first place.
Okay.
About becoming a mom, I think that's purely a personal choice.
Mhm.
I will all say that.
All right. So, but the question's a little bit different. Like
Yeah.
you've seen people bring up their kids today,
The current generation, you
the
mean?
current
Okay.
generation, people my age, people slightly older,
Okay.
younger,
Okay.
whatever,
Mm.
whoever have kids today,
Mm.
kids being born in the last maybe 5, 6 years.
Okay.
How do you think their approach to parenting is different than what yours was? Or even if you were to compare your own peers, how do you think your approach to parenting
Hmm.
was different?
My approach to parenting different from today's generation.
Today's generation, or even when you compare it to your peers?
Oh, see, I don't know when you talk about comparison or something like that, but I can just cite my own ways of having brought up you girls. So there are two, three things I would really like to share. The one is the food aspect. Anything and everything that was cooked at home had to be eaten. So there was no room for tantrums where food was concerned. Even if you didn't like, let's say you don't like करेला, ठीक है भाई, करेला नहीं पसंद है, but दो चार पीस डाल दिया प्लेट में तो खाना है. Maybe you will develop a taste for it later on in life, but at that moment, at that point in time, you will have to eat it. Because I will not make, I never made anything different just because you didn't like something. You didn't like it, you don't eat it. You don't want the food, fine, go ahead. Okay, that was my policy, principle, whatever it is. It both not just me and my husband, both of us. That was one thing. And so, you know what? I really find that it is very easy growing up, and even now today, I find it very easy when somebody asks, "Are there any food items that you people don't like when we go anywhere to anybody's house?" So I say, "Okay, that's never been a problem for us. My children eat anything and everything. I mean, anything and everything vegetarian, since we are all vegetarians.
Yeah.
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 So that is a big plus. So train your child. Don't fall in for their tantrums."
Correct.
Right? I remember a small incident way back when you were kids, way back when we were in Mumbai, and we mothers used to discuss what to make for dinner and all. And then I said, हाँ ठीक है हमने ये बनाया और बच्चे खा लेंगे. So a friend of mine asked me, so बच्चे खा लेते हैं? They'll eat whatever you make. I said,
Mm.
yeah, of course. There is the
Mm.
question of saying no. She
Yeah.
said, not bad, yeah, you've really brought them up well. Because my son will not eat this particular thing or that particular thing and have to go home and make something different.
Mm.
I
Mm.
said, my God. And then the problem or the mistake lies in you, not the child.
Correct.
Right?
Because you've not taught them that saying no is not an option, or rather, I wouldn't say that. I think
Yeah, it's not that.
it's more about the fact that the child has not learned that, or rather, the child has learned that
If I
throwing a
put my foot,
tantrum, throwing a tantrum will get me
get
my
me
way.
exactly. So that was a strict no at home.
Right.
And another thing, I don't know if you call this comparison or not, but you know what? Children, their brains are like sponges. Until the age of 8, they absorb everything.
Right.
So it's very important what you feed that sponge,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's like garbage in, garbage out,
Correct.
right?
Mm.
So it's watch what you put in,
Mm-hmm.
and say because that is what will come out later on.
Right.
So then, on this principle, whenever you girls have asked me any question, more so you rather than Ananya, most of the times, you've been a question monger throughout.
Yeah, Ananya, I think, has been a silent observer.
Yes,
She
yes.
learns quietly.
Quietly, yeah. So whenever you ask questions, to the best of my knowledge, I have answered it instantly.
Hmm.
I have never said ki ha chodo this not now, I'll tell you later.
Hmm.
Because the minute you say something like not now, we'll discuss later, that question will never come back because the child knows that he or she is not going to get the answer from the mother or the father.
Right.
And they will try to find answers to that from different sources.
Hmm.
May not always be correct ones.
Hmm.
Nip that.
Hmm.
On the spot, nip that. Sit with the child explain what best you know. And if you don't know anything, now you have the advantage of internet, Google, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Sit and find out the answers and
Mm.
explain to the child. So there and then that answer, that point is sorted. And the child also takes comfort in the fact that he can reach out to his parents and get the correct answers. He or she does not have to look elsewhere.
Right. Mm.
So at the same time, I would also like to advise these young mothers today, limit screen time and also keep an eye on what your child is watching.
Yeah, I
Ah,
think that's very
you know,
important.
in fact, best is not to even expose the child to gadgets till the age of 6 or 8, if possible. I know, but
I
schools
think that's
largely,
a little
yes,
difficult
yeah,
now.
I know, and I'm coming to that. I know, with
Yeah.
schools largely being dependent on iPads or whatever these
Mm.
gadgets, but still you can watch what your child is viewing,
Mm-hmm.
have those screens and firewalls or whatever they have
Yeah.
installed, install
Yeah.
them. And instead of giving the child a gadget, sit with the child, read a storybook, sit
Mm-mm.
with the child, play puzzles.
Mm.
Jigsaw puzzles used to be our favorites.
Yeah.
Remember
Oh my
how
God, I
you
love
still
them.
enjoy
Yeah,
doing
even
that, right?
now.
Get yourself a 500-piece puzzle, a 1,000-piece puzzle, and just develop, see how the child develops.
Yeah.
And then you both of you are going to have fun together.
Good
Solve
point.
jigsaw puzzles on paper.
Good point. Actually, on that note, because you said that, kids screen times should be limited and things like that.
Yeah.
Do you think that it was easier to be a mom 30 years ago than it is today?
Honestly, I don't know how to answer this question, but I guess today's moms have a lot more challenges
Mm-hmm.
because they have to juggle their careers, their jobs, homes, and wanting to bring up the children the right way. Lot more challenges in today's world because
Mm-hmm.
while they want to bring up children, they do not want to give up on their jobs,
Right.
right? So they want to strike a balance, and somewhere at times they are successful, at times they fall short.
Right.
So I've seen a couple of young moms who are, quite keen on bringing up their kids the right way.
Mm.
I've seen them wanting to do the right things for the child, you know, primarily not wanting to get them hooked on to gadgets,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So I have seen that. And when it comes to food also, a lot of changes have come about over the last few decades, right?
Mm.
Maybe milk is not good. These kind of foods are not good for children. So wanting to give the right kind of food for children. A lot of things have changed, which is good.
Right.
I mean, yeah, it is nice. At the same time, I'm sure there are so many girls around who don't have time to even think on these lines and just get on with what they have and do it so that probably they have a career
Correct.
on which they have to focus more,
Right.
because if they give up on that, then finances may drop at home.
Right.
So I think that's about the reason that I see. Yeah, I don't know if I've answered the question correctly somewhere, but yeah.
So, what would you say you did differently than your peers?
um,
Or why do you think you get the compliments that you do? And even whether it is from your own, age group or elders or youngsters,
okay.
why do you get that compliment?
Okay, so I really don't know why I get the compliment, but probably I can only share a few instances about what I did.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, there was this time, I think it was the days of Pokemon. Pokemon used to be
Yeah.
aired at 5 o'clock. Am I right
Yeah.
there? Okay, so you girls would come back from school, sit in front of the TV, glued to it for Pokemon, and I allowed it for a few days, maybe even
Yeah.
for a few weeks. And then that was the time when you actually had to go out and play. I mean, 5 o'clock is not the time to be sitting inside the house and watching TV. I kept warning. I kept warning every day in and day out. On one particular day, I just lost it. I kept telling both of you to go and play. But no, you wouldn't listen. And then I even warned you girls that I would cut off the cable connection if you didn't go out, right? You remember?
Yeah.
And you girls, as usual, did not want to pay any attention to what my warnings.
Yeah.
So then what happened? I picked up the phone and dialed the cable wala.
Mhm.
Fortunately or unfortunately, the guy was on the same floor. Okay. And what happened? He came ringing. He rang the bell. I said, okay, Bhaiya, cable kaat do. I mean, that guy was shocked. I said, what you, madam? I said, bhaiya, bas bhaiya, nahi chahiye cable, kaat do. And he promptly cut off. And the two of you were shocked. You just didn't know what hit you. So it was not only studies that mattered, right?
Yeah,
It was an all round development.
right.
Like I was, yes, while I was very particular about how you people studied and scored marks or whatever, it was important for a few good future.
Mm-hmm.
I was also particular that you people go out and play. Read lot of books other
Right.
than just academic books, right?
Right.
That was important to me. Take part in competitions, course, public speaking, everything was important to me because
Right.
I, as a child, was an introvert. I mean, I was shit scared of being on the stage, facing people, talking, and everything. I didn't want my children to do all of that.
Right.
I just wanted them to be bold, brave, and face the world. So probably these things mattered a lot to me. So my entire life revolved around bringing up my children not being introverts.
That's interesting because despite having one insanely introverted kid, you just know that when she goes out in public and when she's on stage, she's a completely different person. And
Oh yes, oh yes. You're
yeah,
talking about Ananya, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm talking about Ananya. I'm not an introvert.
Oh yes, I never had that problem with you because you were always very happy to be in front of everybody. You're the attention seeker.
Yeah, and people don't believe me when I tell them that Ananya is actually an
Oh
introvert
yes.
and would just love to be in her room in her pajamas and not see anybody.
Yes. And left to her, she'd continue to be doing that.
Yeah.
But no, I realized when Ananya was born and as she grew 4 or 5 years of age, I realized she was just a replica of me, wanting to be an introvert, hiding behind me, not wanting to get on the stage. Okay, all that she was interested in was in absolutely creative pursuits like clay molding, drawing, this thing, not wanting to go on stage, talk, recite poems, stories, or whatever. I said, no, this has to change. I took it. it it was a challenge for me to get that girl out of her introverted nature.
Yeah.
So then there was one particular storytelling competition way back in the KG class
Yeah.
when I prepared her thoroughly. She would recite the stories and whatever it is, and then at home she would do a great job. And then suddenly she developed cold feet the day prior to the competition. And it was shattering. I mean, I was shattered.
Oh, yeah.
I was shattered. I think you remember that. And the father tells me, "Ki, let the child be, just don't force her."
Yeah.
Okay, so I took his advice and then I just kept quiet. It was heart wrenching for me. I know. And then came the annual day at that particular year when Ananya saw you going on stage innumerable number of
Lots
times
of times, yeah.
and picking up prizes after prizes and then being complimented for your dancing skills. Yeah, and that kind of she just turned around and then she told Mama, next year I will take part in every competition that I will be
Yeah.
there and I will win maximum prizes. Okay. I said, I didn't know what hit me. I really didn't know what hit me. I said, wow, that's wonderful. I said, sure, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, true to her word, that child went on to take part in about 8 to 10 competitions that were there in that particular KG year and came back home with almost 10 to 12 certificates, some prizes, some participation certificates. And her teacher also said that she was the one who won the maximum
Number of
certificates.
prizes. Yeah.
I think that was a changing moment in Ananya's life.
Yeah.
And again, I think you are responsible for that, Aishwarya.
Yeah. It's lovely how even passively I'm responsible for, bringing up the competitive spirit in Ananya's life because
Yeah.
I know I keep saying that I am a competitive person, but people just don't know. And even I don't even think Ananya probably
Yeah,
realizes
yeah. I think even she doesn't
just
know.
how competitive she is.
Yes, yes. So she definitely is competitive. Only thing is she just hides it. She doesn't show it.
Yeah.
And there was this time when she went on stage and I think there was an inter-school mono acting competition.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember the
This
time
was
when her
when she was in seventh
seventh,
grade.
yeah, yeah, she was in seventh grade when she went on stage and yes, I think Aishwarya, you coached her very well.
Ah, okay,
I think she
if you
did.
say so.
I don't remember what did she do. She did
Portia.
Portia. Yes, yes, yes. And then there were a lot of voice
Yeah,
modulations to be done with all the three characters,
correct.
right? Shylock, Portia, and
Shylock,
Antonio.
Portia, and Anton.
She went on stage and set it on fire, and I think the organizers were stunned. A lot of people in the audience commented that you're so small, but look at the powerful voice that you have. I
Yeah.
think all these things, she went on to win the first prize, right?
Yeah.
And then during the prize distribution ceremony the next day, for she was made to enact the whole thing again.
Again.
Yes.
And I think the chief guest or the judge at that time was Nasiruddin Shah. And
Was he?
yeah,
I
I
don't
remember.
remember.
And
Yeah.
I know
And
that
I think she
you
got a lot
said,
of compliments for
yeah.
that. And this is what I wanted to achieve. That I didn't want my children to be introverts like me and miss out on a lot of opportunities. They had a lot of latent talent, which I
Right.
think I always say that I'm like a jury, right?
Ah,
Everyone can't be a diamond, right? You need a jury also to polish a diamond. So,
yeah.
and I think I have done just that. I always say that I am a jury.
That's a very interesting analogy you bring out, Mama, because I have another follow-up question. Your two kids are so different from
Mhm.
each other. Like Ananya and I are so different. And I know that we've talked about this a lot about how I say that we're as different as chalk
Chalk
and
and cheese.
cheese.
Oh, yes.
And I always like to be the tastier one. But
No, it's okay because you're the tastier one, you get the cheese, but she uses the chalk for all the creative things.
see, that's what a mom does. Like I can't just say something and then get away with it. You're obviously going to bring in something
See,
amazing.
again, let's say cheese. Cheese means food, right? And you love food, you love to cook.
Exactly.
She doesn't like cooking, so okay. Even
Lot
if
more
she does,
creative
yeah,
because
she's a lot more creative. So she's the chalk.
yeah, well said. But my question over here is what is it like, or what do you keep in mind when you're parenting two very different children? How did you go about doing that? Because even if two kids are very similar, there comes an element of comparison in the house, which Ananya and I have both admitted openly that we have never felt.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have never been compared.
Never, never.
And
That
we,
was a conscious decision by both me and my husband,
yeah,
your dad. We will never compare.
right,
Both of you have your own individual strengths and weaknesses. Let us
right,
play to the strengths. Let us not compare the two of them.
right.
Yeah, that was our decision at a very early age.
Mm-hmm.
So we will not compare because I strongly detest comparison because if you start comparing, I think somewhere you're killing one child totally.
Correct.
The strengths of one child
Right.
because the child only sees why you were compared, why he or she is compared to his or her sibling,
Mm.
right? They will refuse to see their own strengths. And instead of nurturing that, I think you're killing that somewhere.
Right. Have you ever downplayed the achievements of one so that you don't hurt the feelings of
No,
the
never.
other?
I don't think I have downplayed the achievements of one over the other. So while one child has achieved something, and they say, yes, that may not be your strong point, but look at you, what your strengths are.
Yeah.
Let's play to that. Maybe you will achieve somewhere there. It's
Right.
okay. If you're not very great at academics,
Mm.
like your sibling, fine. What are your strengths? Let's work on that. That has always been our policy.
Correct. True. And I think that has helped us in our own way to pick up things that we're good at and
Yes.
focus on that
Focus
rather
on
than
that.
have
Yes.
any kind of competition between us.
Why
And
have competition between siblings? Nurture the strengths.
no, for sure. That has
Yeah.
definitely helped in our bonding.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that a lot of people comment on also, the bonding that the two of you have. And pata nahi, nazar na lage. Thu, thu, thu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's true. That's true. I think I want to take back to that point where you were talking about, cable cutting.
Yeah.
And that that incident for us, it sort of taught us to take you seriously when you said something. And
Okay.
I can
Hmm.
recall a couple of other times. I remember when we were in Ahmedabad and
Yeah.
I came back
Oh,
from
yes.
school with my shoes
Oh, yes. Oh,
and I wouldn't
yes.
put my shoes inside, and you said
Yeah,
you'd
and I
throw
kept
them
warning
away.
you. And then I
Yeah.
said, if you don't put your shoes inside the shelf, I will throw it out. You never took it seriously. And I decided I had to teach you the lesson.
Yeah.
Yes, right? So then I just I warned you also that I will throw the shoes out.
Yeah.
And you just didn't pay heed to that.
Yeah.
I took the shoes and threw it out of the balcony.
Yeah.
And you were stunned again. I made you go
Yeah.
and pick it up. Let me just add here that it's not about being rude or something like that. Huh? It's just that I wanted to drive home a point. You just can't take it lightly, a warning, right?
Right.
And you never know. You have to learn to be serious about certain warnings, certain advices that are being
Right.
sent your way.
Right.
Just that was only to drive home the point.
No, and that's well done because basically, without necessarily disciplining a child in a way, and I've been like properly whacked
Oh,
as a
yes. I
kid.
also never believed in spare the rod and spoil the child.
Right.
So I think you were at the receiving end
I was at the
quite a few
receiving end
times.
of a lot. but but yeah, so the point that I want to bring out over here is that you did it in a way that didn't necessarily need scolding
Huh.
or
Yeah.
disciplining, but you taught me to take things seriously
Yeah.
and that you meant business when you meant business. That,
Yes. Yes.
I couldn't take something like that lightly. So that's also a fresh point to bring out where, and I think that's a very good example of setting boundaries, which we talk about a lot,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
know how to do
Do it
correctly.
correctly.
You
Yes.
know?
So, yeah, while mom can be a friend, a confidant, and everything, but at the end of the day, she's your mom. I think you have to respect it when she says something
Yeah.
and when she means it seriously,
Right.
right? So, that is
Right.
it. And a mom is the best friend that a child can ever have.
A good mom is a best friend that a
Yeah.
child can ever have. Like
What do you mean
let's
by
make
good
that.
mom?
No, because not all moms are capable of putting aside their own issues
Okay.
and tending to the child in the way it needs to be cared for and it
Okay.
needs to be brought up.
Okay.
And I think one of the main reasons that I continue to want to be a mom, where a lot of my friends or a lot of people my age rather have chosen that, motherhood is not for them or parenting is not for
Not for
them,
them. Okay.
is the fact that I have had an upbringing where I have seen that parenting can be done right.
Oh, yes. 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 I'm
That
sure.
you can.
And I'm very happy that you want to be a mom.
Yeah, I feel like
Ah,
a lot of times, despite everything that comes up, like whether it is the physical and the physiological process of being a mother or the emotional and the mental toll it takes to raise children. And it
it's
does.
yeah.
Let's not.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely it does. But I think at the end of the day, it's all worth it. Okay, when you see your child having shaped up really well, and you get complimented for being a great mother. I mean, it's great. That feeling is absolutely wonderful.
Mm. True, true. Okay, so I think we should wind down this episode right about now. But before we go, is there any last bit of advice that you would like to give moms today?
Advice. Okay, let think about it. Yeah, the one thing that comes right on top of my mind is if you are an at home mom and if you don't go for work, the minute the child comes back from school, sit down with the child, give her, give him the food that they need, whatever nourishment that they need, and just talk about how the day went in school. Because the minute every child, the first thing how did your day, so what did you do in school today? Nothing is the constant answer. Okay. How can it be nothing yet? Come on. It's not an answer. And don't rest with that answer. Okay. Don't stop with that answer. Just keep
Mm,
prodding because
mm,
you never know what will come out. Nothing can mean several things. One, I think it was just boring run of the mill day and boring math, boring history, whatever, right?
right.
Or the child must have had some kind of a spat with somebody.
Mm,
his or her emotions must have gotten hurt,
Mm.
must have gotten taken a beating, and
Mm.
may not be wanting to open up.
Yeah.
That's when these things are important pointers, right?
Yeah.
You should just watch out for these. Talk, talk, get it out slowly, steadily, because that way you're establishing an open channel between you and your child.
Right.
Talking is very important. That is okay if you're a housebound mom, right?
Huh.
But if you're working, you come back late, you're also tired, you're this thing. But yes, however tired you are, finish your dinner, sit with the child, go to the child's room or call the child to your room, and then ask how your day went. Or you can start off with saying how your day went,
Right.
what you did right, what may you can even discuss what you did wrong or what you shouldn't have done
Right.
or what you should have done.
Yeah.
See, because these are all somewhere the child is absorbing all of this.
Mm-hmm.
If you're honest, the child will also reflect that.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So then that way, you're opening up your channels of communication, not just at that moment, but for a lifetime.
Mm.
This is an important advice. Secondly, if you have very young children, please, please, my sincere advice is restrict screen time as far as possible to the age of 5. Don't give them the phones or the TV or the laptop or the computer, anything. There
Mm.
are so many other ways that you can entertain your child with. Go out for walks with the child, play with the child, go to the playground, play with the sand, indulge in all of that. Play puzzles, read
Yeah.
stories, listen to music, dance with them, paint with them, draw with them. There's so many things, so many options are there today. But my sincere advice once again is limit screen time. You don't know how much of a damage it can cause.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. So
I think children's brains become stunted if they are exposed to screens very
yes,
early in life.
yes. When you introduce books to them, you know, as you read or as they start reading themselves, their imagination runs wild. Okay,
Yeah, it's
because
cultivating imagination.
yeah, you cultivate the habit of imagining, visualizing,
Correct.
right? When you're showing them the screen, there is no scope for your own imagination, right? It's not working. It's something they're seeing. That's all.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
So reading is very important. Start developing that habit from the child, to the child from a very, very young age, even as young as maybe even a day old, 2 days old, 2 weeks old. Pick up a book. Show the child the pictures are there in the book. Read, make voice modulations, and then read.
Ah, yes. Engage the child
Yes,
in as many ways as possible without
absolutely.
exposing them to any kind of screens whatsoever.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Music, play music without some visual attraction.
Right. That's very good advice. Very, very sage advice, I would say.
I don't know. This is what I did, and I think I have done a decent job. And my girls,
Yeah,
both
even
of you
I'd like
have,
to believe that you've done a decent job, Mama.
yeah. And I like to, and I'm quite happy that the girl that you both have shaped up brilliantly. I'm
Aw,
very proud of the two of you.
yeah, you should be.
Okay.
But
But in all this, let me also tell you that I have had ample support from your dad.
no, of
Now,
course.
without his support, many things wouldn't have been possible. Because always another thing we used to do is never argue in front of the two of you. At
Okay.
least when you people were young,
Mm-hmm.
never argue when in front of the two of you. Never have fights in front of the two of you.
Hmm.
That was one thing.
Hmm.
Secondly, if one parent is scolding a child, the other parent would not interfere.
Okay.
Okay, so one parent is setting the child right, the behavior. The other parent, even if we felt that he or she was wrong, the father is wrong or the mother is wrong, we didn't do it in front of the child.
Hmm.
We always did it in private.
So it's like the parents are a unit,
Yes,
and
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
Hmm.
So you're silently sending a message to the child that you can't play one against the
The
other.
other. Oh yeah, that's a very
Mm.
important message.
So I can play on my mom's emotions, and if dad is angry with me, or I can go to my dad if mom is angry and get things done. No, sorry,
Okay,
that's not happening, boss.
yeah, no, I don't remember us being able to ever do that. No,
No,
I don't
never.
think we ever did that because I don't think the option for that was ever available. Like you said, it's a very strong, subtle but very firm messaging.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. You couldn't play
Interesting.
one against the other. Never.
It's real, like, cool realizations about my own childhood.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
nice.
So
Okay, well, this has been a very informative and very interesting episode, Mama.
thank you, dear.
Thank you for coming and sharing all of this advice with us. I know I have access to it whenever I want, but it's for our listeners who will hopefully take something valuable from it. And any last bit of anything you want to say to our listeners?
Nothing. This is just my experience that I've had as a mother. And I just hope it is helpful, informative, and adds value to your own parenting. Thank you, Aishwarya. Thank you for giving me this
Thank you, Mama.
opportunity. Yeah.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you for being a part of this episode. And I hope our listeners liked it as much as we enjoyed recording it. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.